Native Instruments plugins. I wonder if I could just load all the plugins first, Sub Factory and some drums, the Smackers kit, and see if we can make a beat with that. I wonder how much space it would take, how much memory it would take. Matter of fact, let's just see. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I got the MPC Live 2 with the MPC 3 software. Right now I'm loading up the Native Instruments plugins. I just loaded up Analog Dreams. Right now I'm loading up Homage. As the guy said in the comments, you're not supposed to say the H. You don't pronunciate the H. Homage. And we're about to add in Nact. And we are about to add in Cloud Supply. And then I think I might add in Sub Factory. I'm going to see how much memory we have. We're going to load up the Smackers kit and we're going to get it popping. I know a lot of people are... One of the main conversations that we talk about a lot in this producer community is using the machine standalone and how much memory they have versus using them connected to the software and how much memory the computer has. You know, so the ability, the thought process of these only having 2 gig of memory, 4 gig of memory, maybe 6 or whatever, you know, that thought process feels like a limitation. And, you know, you can only have so many plugins, you can only have so many audio tracks, that it feels limited in what you could do. But the reality is you could really get it done. So right now we have 6 tracks. I just put the bass in. Right now that's Cloud Supply. You know, we're doing our housekeeping. This is Nact. This is Homage. This is Analog Dreams. And this is going to be the Smackers kit. We'll go over there, grab it. And then we'll see what our memory's at. So right now we're at 40%. 40% memory with 5 plugins. We got 16 drum sounds, 16 wave files, 5 plugins. So at most, I believe we could put 1 more in and then we'll be maxed out on plugins, but we still have 8 tracks. All right. Audio tracks. We can bounce those down immediately to audio tracks if need be. So first I'm going to grab a pad. I'm going to go over to my progressions. I'm just going to go through till I find something that sounds good or feels good. Right now I'm in a D. I'm going to change that. I might just run through the progression the normal way. Go ahead, tap this tempo. Whatever I tap, that's where we're going to leave it at. So I'm just going to run the progression in a regular way. We're going to double out the length of the sequence. So that way it feels like 4 bars, even though it's 8 bars because we're over 100 BPM. We're going to run the progression from top to bottom, meaning some progressions you could just go up the pads 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll play the whole progression. Each one I recommend just going through and kind of checking it out and seeing what you get. Now we're going to go over here to our second Native Instruments plugin, Homage. What I want to do with this sound is just kind of fill in space. So I'm going to play that on the back end of the bars. Now, you know, a lot of them have, you can automate what I'm doing right now is 2 sounds. And so as you move that, it kind of switches between, it's like a macro that turns all 4 of those knobs on the right at the same time. I selected my volume and I just use my big knob to turn it down. Right now I'm using the fader to kind of fade between the other sound, make it sound more bellish, if that's a word. Now we're going to go to NACT and kind of look for some kind of pluck. One thing I do like about these Native Instruments plugins is I like the way that they look on the screen. They utilize the color scheme of the MPC. I think they did well with that, with the MPC3 software or hardware, or software for the hardware, probably the best way to say it. I feel like they did a great job with utilizing that. Gives the machine long life. You know, sometimes when you're looking at the same color, I hear people complaining about that with some DAWs. I won't name them. But they say after a while looking at that bland color scheme, it makes you not want to work in it. So utilizing a more colorful, color-coded method is more pleasing. That's why people like some other DAWs. And it helps you stay on there and stay focused longer. You know, I do think the main screen overhaul, the more that I use it, I like it. It is almost like a central hub. Everything you need is right there. Your most important needs and features are right there. Right now we're in Cloud Supply. We're going to look for some kind of lead. We're just going to build this sound up. We're going to run with it. Switched over from progressions to notes mode. And now we could just play a single note. I have my little keyboard plugged in, but I didn't use it a lot in the video, so I just went ahead and cropped it out. Also, just to show you could get it all done with the pads. Now we got Sub Factory. This is definitely one of my favorite plugins. I use it almost every beat. It's got so many different uses. You know, you can really get it done. And because it's a bass, it's like a bass focused plugin. Even if you're not using it just for bass, it kind of cuts through the mix. So you can always go to Sub Factory if you got lush sounds like I have right now. I'm trying to build this backing sound that sounds nice and full. And you know we want to come with our kick. We can use Sub Factory to create that sound, that bass, and create some of that movement and feeling that we're looking for. I'm gonna start a little awkward with this one because we might run it backwards. We're doing it from the hi-hats up right now. I wanted to do it this way just because a lot of times out of habit or just showing videos, I show people I might start with the clap or we start with a progression, you know, or you start with the sample. But however you start your beat is how you start it. So like right now, we start these drums with hi-hats. You know what I mean? I might do most of the percussive parts first before I even add the kick in. It's just how you feel, you know? And then some things you gotta know that you wanna do for efficiency reasons. So, you know, I'll add all these different sounds in, and some of them I'll know that I still need to fix the volumes on there. I might want to pan them, but at the same time, you know, we're doing this all gas, no brakes, all green lights, no red lights. So in this kind of workflow, you know, well, at least for me, my brain is already thinking about the next sound and where I'm going to go next. What is my next movement? I try to get into a place where I just trust my ears and go with what I'm hearing. But I'm always trying to decide a couple seconds ahead where we're going next. It's part of the producer part of it is, you know, you are trying to build because you're trying to produce something. You know, you don't want to do all this work just to have nothing. Look at the clock, we're 13 minutes in. Stay to the end, because this one changes up. It gets pretty fresh at the end. I think you'll like it. And we just use these sounds only. These sounds only. So you can see right now the MPC is running smooth. I'm not having any glitches, not having any issues. You know, 5 plugins and a drum kit. Yeah, 8-bar pattern, 8-bar loop on this sequence, BPM 105.45. So this drum, I'm not really liking this drum. Sometimes I'll let it live a little bit while I'm trying to decide what I do like about it and what I don't like about it. So there's a bunch of these, there's a bunch of kicks. And sometimes I think we could put a bunch of them in there and then we could go back and draw velocity in, you know, make it where it goes from quiet to heavy, kind of gives it a building effect. Makes it feel like it's throwing it at the speaker when it comes on sometimes. You know, sometimes I like to just leave it there while I'm trying to decide and we go mess with the volume. So this is track edit. sample screen too. When I say that, that's the second tab on the bottom of the screen in the black. Click that box 2 times and you'll get to the screen. And this screen, you can touch the pad on a drum track and you can change the pitch, the panning, the volume. You can change the fine pitch edit. You can edit the LFO. You have a sample screen where you can see the sample. You can shorten it. You have drum effects. You have modulation. You have all kinds of things here in this screen. It's the most important screen and it's the most efficient screen. You could do it from the pad mix channel, but I would recommend that you do it from track edit on the actual track edit or program edit on the actual drum track itself. That will give you the most flexibility. Every pad you could stack 4 sounds on. I believe 8 layers. Yeah, MPC 3. Every pad you could stack 8 sounds on now. You can flatten the pad. You can edit all the pads at the same time. Each pad has 10 effects built in on it. You could put your specific effects to a specific pad in this screen. This is the efficient way to maneuver drum tracks and kind of make something into nothing. So what I just did is erased all those kicks. You hold the erase button and then whatever pad and it'll just erase it, so you don't gotta go and select it out of the arrangement screen. And what I decided is I like this pattern out of those kicks that were just playing. And because those kicks that were just playing, it allowed me to do a pre-mix on those to get them where my forever kicks will live. So now it's pitched, -4, -6. And I like this a little better. The music hasn't stopped since we started it. I like to just get the sound going and get forward motion. And the first time I stop the beat, we're arranging. That's kind of my workflow. And then we just do that back to back for a couple of hours, and out of that you get some great sounding stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? Each one of these videos, it's not planned, we picking it right off the top and we mixing and going. And I think it's a testament to how stable the MPC hardware is standalone. I don't use the software. I see a bunch of conversation about the software. You do need the software to install expansions from my store if you want them to show up properly, but outside of that, I bet there's a bunch of other reasons. If I was a guy who didn't have any other software on my computer, you could still get it done with the MPC2 software. Just transfer your session over to the software and finish it there. No MPC. That's the smart way to go about it. And then you can wrap your songs and do whatever you want to do there and use your VSTs. And the reality is it's already got everything you need built into it. So you really don't need no VSTs. So I wouldn't be mad at them if they didn't never fix it, because at the end of the day, it's just people wanting a whole lot when it's already available. You know what I mean? You could go record a whole album in the MPC2 software. Take all your projects, dump them on your computer, turn your MPC off, so now you don't have that slowing down your computer. and open up your project. If all the things that you have on your MPC, it'll open it all up. And then from there, record right in there. There's EQs. Maybe you might need a VST de-esser. You don't need a VST3 de-esser. So, it's not the end of the world because you don't have VST3. You need to think less of what it can't do and start utilizing what it can do. Because that's what hardware and producers do. We produce it. So we figure it out. Yes, there's options and other things that have it. But this is the tool and the option that we use. So we use it the way that we do. So now we're doubling this out. I'm going to go 64 bars. We stop the beat. You can see we got 6 tracks right there. This is where the beat starts to come alive. On this particular beat, it comes alive more once you start doing the drums. I was thinking about doing event muting, but personally, I like audio muting. Personally, but you always got to know that if you have something muted in the event screen and come to audio, it's still muted over there. If you have something muted in audio and then go to event screen, it's still muted on audio. So both screens work together, and however you use that to your strategic value, do with that information as you will. So right now I want to go through and do a little basic mix to get these sounds sitting in the mix a little bit better, more in the way that I want them. So first I'm going to throw a reverb on this bass. I don't know why I did it, but I wanted to do it. In my mind, I had a place where I felt like I wanted the bass to sit in the mix. And I'm listening to this out of the MPC Live 2 speaker. You're receiving it through the interface into the computer. That's how I get it in real time. So we're hearing the same thing. This is the sound untampered. In the videos, I don't do any compression. I don't have any loudness. I don't do any of that stuff. So this is the raw sound out of the MPC and utilizing the effects. We have a bunch of effects in the MPC. It comes with a lot of them. They sound pretty crazy if you're trying to just use presets, but if you get over there and turn the knobs and kind of customize them to the way that you want, they start to sound a lot better. Also, you can automate your solo. You can automate solos and with using the right automation too, so don't forget that. So if you ever wanted to just solo the drums for half a bar, bring the whole beat back in, go automate that solo. Right there in the right hand corner, you can switch it from pad mute to pad solo, and you can record that in as well. Back to the effects stuff. So the effects are really good, and I think you could get a great mix out of the MPC speakers. You just got to get a good volume. You can see mine is set at halfway. That way, we have room to grow. When I'm using my faders, I don't like to, I know everybody has their place, 6 LUFS, minus 14 LUFS, all that stuff. I like to put it where it sounds good, because when I'm creating the beat, I want it to sound good then. So I mix it to what my volume is. Hopefully that makes sense. For those that get it, if you know, you know. Turn on the automation now. Let's run this down. But my rule of thumb of when I'm mixing is I mix it to a great volume that sounds good at the volume I'm at. And that gives me plenty room when we sell, we place, we mix, we do final mixing, we track. We have a lot of headroom to grow and build on and add all the cool effects later. Also think of that when you are playing your mutes in and different things. Once you transfer your beat over to a DAW, after you track it out and they start to mix it, always remember like some of the rough transitions where like I brought in one sound and it got a little fuller quicker than I would like. You could always either A, automate the attack so it kind of fades in. You could possibly automate the mixer fader so it fades up. You know, there's ways that you could fix that in post, P-O-S-T, post, that you don't have to worry about doing that now. You could kind of live with it. So when you watch these videos and you see certain things like that, always think that I have that in the back of my mind, and that's something that you could store in the back of yours. Just trust the music and keep it going. We walk it down. You know, when you go to some sessions, you'll get in there and you'll think that you'll have all the things that you need. You'll have all the beats. You brought 150 beats, it's going to be one of those. A lot of times it's the unexpected. You know, you might have an unexpected musician come in and you need to record them in. You might have to make something on the go, on the fly, and you have people standing over your shoulder asking you for what you want and what they want and what they hear and what they feel like should be there. And there isn't the greatest audio. You just got your MPC speaker. You know, so part of making beats in the way that I make them and make them into videos for you guys, now we are doing drum pad mutes. So we're going to cut that bell in and out a couple times. We're going to drop down to the clap, cut the hi-hats off. We're going to give it some more filling and movement. But you always get in unexpected positions, and so you need to be able to have some drums you can rely on and be able to have a 1-2 method that for sure you could get it done. You know, so for sure you could get it done with just your MPC. That's why if you have your MPC and there's the opportunity to buy plugins and expansions and drum kits, that's the real reason why we build our libraries. And so everything is available on it by itself. We don't need anything else, right? So if you ever get in a situation, I can record your hardware in, I can record your guitar in over the beat. Yep, plug it right in. We could go to audio tracks. I can sample some stuff from what you got in your phone. Yeah, just send it over or play it through the input. We'll get it. And I could chop it and get it done in the MPC. I could play it from scratch. You can come up with a drum pattern on the fly, get the filling, and then come back and doctor it up with just mutes. You don't have to necessarily go and cut it all out and be intricate. You can go to the arrangement window and get real intricate arrangements. But the only way that you're going to know how to do this is to actually spend time on the machine and figure out how to do that and start to produce things. So one thing MPC3 does with that and the arrangement window that should help a lot of people is help you finish beats. You know, with the new way that the tracks are set up, the addition of these native instrument sounds that give you extra capability to sound design and make your own sounds, I think they sound really good. We're listening to the beat right now. I'm gonna let it ride just a little bit. Pause. I think with the addition of the sounds and the things that they added, you could get it all done, and you should start to get beats done. And then, you know, you could start to build your workflow. I still like to use the one sequence method. Again, I say all the time, I like to use this method because it allows me now to make multiple beats, because I only have 40% of the memory used right now. And I like all the sounds that I have. I like the drums that I have, so I could go to sequence 2 and make another part, do something else, create something else. You know, if I feel the vibes, I could go to sequence 3 and just keep going and going and going until I run out of ideas. So I like using that method per se, and then using song mode as a way to kind of combine them into like a long album or one long 15 or, you know, one long track. But I do utilize song mode in a bunch of different other ways as well. With song mode, that allows you to get more intricate setups and do things with BPM changes. It's all about how you think about it, you know? I feel like the way the native instruments sound, along with the MPC sounds that we have, I think they complement each other well. I think showing that we have nothing but the native instruments, plugins, Analog Dreams, Homage, Knacked, and Cloud Supply, Sub Factory, and a drum kit. And just with those 4 sounds together, you know, we got a pretty good sounding beat in what, about 30 minutes. It's really about 20. We had to load it up in the beginning just so we could see what we were doing and get the setup right. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw my EQ on the end. And for real, I think we got another one, guys. I sure do. Let's go ahead and see what it sounds like. Touch our knobs one time. See what we get. Remember that you could turn the Q links. You can turn 2 or 3 knobs at the same time. In case you didn't know that, you know what I mean. If you didn't know, now you know. You can change all 4 of them at the same time if you do it the right way. They're more than capable. And then utilize your Q-Link button to maneuver across your screen. And after a while, you'll start to see that most of the knobs on the screen are set up in a way they kind of tell you what Q-Link it is already. So the more you look at the MPC, you'll know which one it is. But my final thoughts on the Native Instruments plugins is I like them. These are just using presets and basic mixing and small sound design. You know, we have all 4 of them loaded up at the same time, plus Sub Factory, and it's only using 40% of the MPC. We had no skips, no lags. No issues, no long load times, no problems with adding effects, adding automation, no bugs in that manner. Just straight through workflow. All gas, no brakes. Bunch of tips, bunch of different things in this video. Main goal just to show you that they work and you could do it. 5 plugins, bro. MPC 3, put it under the stress test, the O.T.G test, and it looks like it's working, man. I like it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. That way you get alerts when I drop new videos. Try and go all through February, almost every day. Inshallah, you found some value in this video. And we got another one, man. Another one. More beats. More beats. More beats. O.T.G.